OffLecture. Learn beyond class.
Hello and welcome back to OffLecture. In topic 1, we learned what databases and tables were. Now in topic 2, we will learn how to actually ask our database questions. This is done with the help of a query, and almost every query is built from top 6 clauses. We call them big 6, which is select, from, where, group by, having, or an order by. And by the end of this topic, you will be comfortably read one table, filter it, sort it based on your requirement, and shape the result exactly how you want. So here are the big 6 clauses in the order you write them. This is the order where you write your big 6 queries. First, you write the select statement, then you write the from, then you write the where, then you write group by, then you write having, and then you write order by. Okay. But remember one thing, that select and from statement are the required one. Okay. Without select and from statement, you can't write any SQL query. We will understand what is the meaning of select, what is the meaning of from, and what function they will perform in the rest of the slides. But always remember that select and from are the required statements, and where, group by, having, and order by are the optional statements. Okay. But here's the twist that confuses beginners. SQL does not run them in that order. It runs from first. Okay. Remember that this is the order in which query is written. Okay. Query is written. And now if I change the color, and this is the order in which SQL executes them. Okay. So first it executes from statement, then it executes where statement, then it executes group by, then it executes having, then it executes select statement, and then it executes the order by. Okay, that's why a column alias, like this is a very important point, usually asked in interviews, also in the early stage interviews. That's why a column alias from select can be used in order by but not in where. We will understand what it is trying to say, but before that we should know that what all these statements or commands actually mean. Okay. So in this topic, we will focus on select, from, where by, order by, plus addition of some helper tools like distinct, like, in, between, top, and aliases. Group by and having get their own topic. Okay. So let's start with the first statement of it, or the first concept, that is select. So let's start with select. Select statement, it decides which columns come back, or choose which columns you want to written in your output. You can list the number of columns by name, separated by commas, and they appear exactly in that order. Okay. Or you can write select star, which will return everything that is available in the table. It will return every column that is available in your table. Star is convenient while exploring, and always remember that star is convenient while exploring the data, but in real queries, you should name the columns you need. It's faster because the processing will be faster, clearer, and won't break if someone adds new column to the table later. Let's suppose from the data engineering side, someone adds a new column in your table. So this won't affect your query. If you use the name of the columns in your query, it will run it properly. And always remember this point also, that in the order you list the names of the columns will equals to the order in which they will be shown in your output. Okay. So you can control the layout of your result. If you see the syntax is select, then you write the name of the columns separated by comma, and then you write from the name of the table from which you want to extract the values. So we can see through an example. So let's go in SQL. This is the first time we are using SQL. So first we have to call our database. Currently it's on master, since we need to use our HR database that we imported earlier. So what we will do is we will write use HR and semicolon, and if you execute this will execute, and you can see that the change has happened here. Now my SQL is referring to HR database. Okay. So what we will do is we will write our first statement, that is select, and let's suppose we will write star from employees. You can see this is the name of the table that is available with us, and it is automatically coming up. So we will just select this query and we will click on execute, and you can see these are the data that is available in the employees table. We have employee ID, name, department ID, job ID, salary, and hire date, and it is showing the 10,000 rows. Okay, always remember this, the at the bottom, the rows that you are seeing is not actually always the number of rows that is available. You can limit the number of rows to be shown in the output. So sometimes it is always sometimes it may be possible that you are working on a system where there is limitation on the number of rows that you see. So don't get confused by this number. Currently it's showing all the rows, so my total number of rows is 10,000 only, and it is showing that if, let's suppose, you see here 2,000 rows, it doesn't mean that my data contains 2,000 rows. My output restriction is to 2,000 rows. For counting the number of rows, you have to use the functions. Okay, for counting the total number of rows, you have to use the count function that we will understand further. Okay, so this is how we extract all the columns from the table. Now let's suppose we want to query only some particular columns. Let's say we want to query only employee underscore ID and the name of the employee. So we will write select employee ID comma name from employees table. Okay, and we'll place a semicolon at the end. And when we will execute this, you will see that we are only getting the employee ID and the name of the employee in our output. Okay, so this is how we use the select statement. Let's understand through one example. So what we want to do is, what we want to do is we want to show only each employee's name and salary. Okay, so what we will do is we will write select name comma salary from employees, and our output should be look like this. So we'll go back to SQL and we will write, first of all, we will write select star from employees, so we can see what are the name of the columns that is available. So we will write select name comma salary from employees table, and we will put a semicolon at the end. And when you will run this, you will see that only the names and the salaries of the employees are being shown in a output. Okay, so from this you understand two clauses, two commands. One is select statement, like how to use select statement, and then you have understood how we can use the from statement. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now let's move back, and this is the question that you have to try at your own. What you have to do is you have to write a query. You have to write a query that returns only the department ID, that only returns the department ID and the department name from the departments table. So what you have to do is you have to access your department table and you have to extract the department ID and the department name from that table. Okay, just try it, pause the video and try it, and then we will see the solution of it. Okay, let's see its answer. So the answer is select department ID comma department name from departments. We can try and see whether this is giving the desired result or not. We will write select department ID comma department underscore name from departments table, and put a semicolon at the end. And if we execute this, you can see we are able to see all the department IDs and all the department names that is available in our department table. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay, now let's move to the second concept within the select statement, which is known as distinct. So select distinct remove duplicate rows from your result. What it do is it removes duplicate rows from your result. For removing the duplicates in your data, we use the distinct statement. Okay, it keeps only the unique rows and it applies across all selected columns together. Okay, not just the first one. Whatever columns that you have selected together, it will apply on all and it will give you the unique rows or the distinct rows based on that. Distinct is perfect for answering what values actually exist. Okay, this is great for asking what values actually exist, that is the distinct list of departments used. We are not asking like what is the complete list of departments, or in the employees table what are the salaries available. We want distinct salaries, so for that cases distinct is being used. And you have to write it after the select statement. This is the way to write the distinct statement. That is, you have to write select distinct, then whatever column in which you want to apply the distinct, and it will give you the output from the employees table. If you want to apply on a pair, then you will write select distinct and separated by a comma. You can enclose these two columns into round brackets to make it more clear, and it will give you the unique pairs available. Okay. And remember one thing, that distinct looks as the whole row of the selected columns, not just the first one. Okay, it will look at the whole row of selected columns. That is, if you see here, if you are selecting two columns all together for distinct, so it will look for both the columns, and on the basis of unique values, unique pairs available in department ID and job ID, it will give you the output. Okay, so let's see one example on it. What example we will be working on? Which departments actually have employees? We want to know which departments actually have employees. So what we want to get is the distinct department ID from the employees. Okay, so we'll go back into our SQL and we will write select distinct, then we will write department ID, sorry, department ID from employees table, because we want to identify the distinct department ID from the employees table. If you want to see the employees table first, you can see it here. You just query this line and you will get the output. This is, you can see that this is department ID and this is the salary available. So now if you just query your result, you query your distinct statement, you will get that these are the departments that are available. These are the distinct departments that are available in your output. Okay, and if you want to order it, like currently it's not in order, it's based on which department comes first. So you can order it by order by department ID. So you will get a output in the ascending order of the department ID. So you can see these are the unique department IDs that are available in your data. Okay, so I hope this is clear. What we have done is we have written distinct. Just let me change the color. We have written distinct, we have written the select statement, and then we have written the department that we are working on, and then we have mentioned the table from which we want to get a distinct value. Okay, now let's go back to the slides, and this is something you have to try now. This is the example that you have to work on, where you have to list every distinct job ID that appears in the employees table. Okay, you have to identify all the distinct job IDs. Always remember, you have to identify the unique job IDs. There should be no repeats. Hint is very simple. You have to use the distinct command, and using the distinct command after select, you will get your unique job IDs. Okay, so try this, pause the video, and then we will see its solution. The SQL, and we will write select. First, we will write select star from departments, so that we can get all the table, we can get all the columns and everything. Okay, but we have to work on the employees table. So sorry, we have to write the employees table instead of the departments table. Okay, and here we have to identify the unique job IDs. So we will write distinct job underscore ID, And when you will run this line of code, you will get all the distinct job IDs that are available here. If you want to order it by department, order it by job ID, you can order it by job ID in ascending and descending order, whatever you want. Okay. So this is the answer of the examples. We are keeping the examples pretty simple so that the learners who are learning from the scratch SQL, they will also understand how simple and how easy SQL is, and on the basis of this foundations, how we will increase our knowledge and write the complex queries further. Okay. So if you see the answer is pretty simple. Select distinct job ID from employees. Now comes the from clause, which you have already understood by now. From names the table your data comes from. Okay. This is the name of the table from which your data will come from. Okay. Because every query needs a source. Every query needs a source, that is, from something you have to extract the data. So what is that thing? What is that source is written in the from statement. In SQL Server, you will often write it as a schema dot table. For example, dbo dot employees, where dbo is your default schema. Just as important is formatting. Put each clause on its own line. Okay. Put each clause on its own line, indent neatly, and keep keywords in uppercase. So there are some conventional rules that we usually follow in SQL, is that you can, first of all, you can write the complete query in the single line also. What I mean to say is, if you go back to SQL and if I just copy this query, that is select star from employees, and if I just keep it in a single line, it will still give you an output. Okay. So there is no issue of writing a complete query in a single line. Even if I make them in lower case, even that also works. Even that also works. If I write select staff from employees in a lower case, even that also works. So there is no issue with that, because it's not case sensitive. So even if I write the employees table in the small case, even that will also work. If I just run this and execute this, it will give you an output. But we usually follow a conventional rule, that is, every clause should be in per line. It should be properly intended, and all the commands or all the functions or statements that you are writing, it should be in uppercase, and the name of the columns and name of the tables you can put in the lowercase. Okay. Remember, neat formatting is not cosmetic. It makes long queries far easier to read and debug. Because when you will write multiple lines of queries, like when you will be start creating stored procedures will go on, let's say 100 or 200 lines of code. So if you indent it properly, if you write one clause per line and you will keep the statements in the uppercase, it will be more easier to understand later on to you as well, and in your workplace if any other person is also working on that query. Okay. So example is very simple. You can see, uh, if you write name, selects name comma salary from employees where salary is greater than 60,000, this is also works. If you write like this query will also work and will give you the output, but it is hard to read. And if you write the same statement like this, that is every clause per line, and keep your clauses in upper cases, keep your commands in upper cases, and the name of the columns and the fields in the lower cases, it will look more clean and readable. It will look more clean and readable. Okay. So You can see the difference in both the queries. Both will give you the output, but this is more clean and readable. Okay, so both run identically, but the second is far easier for a human to understand and scan keywords in uppercase and one clause per line. Okay, now you can try at your end, like how you can reformat this query into a clear and readable format. Select department name from departments, and answer is pretty simple, that you have to write one clause per line. So you will write select department name from departments. The hint is also available here, that is uppercase the keywords and put each clause on its own line. Okay, I hope this is clear. That is till select and from statement, it is clear. Now we'll move to the next clause or next command, which is known as where clause. Okay, so where is the way you filter the rows. Okay, in every data we want to filter the rows. We want only those rows that is required by us. For example, if we are working with HR data, we want to see only those rows where the salary of a person or an employee is greater than 60,000. Okay, or we want to see those employees whose salary is less than 25,000, so that we can give any kind of bonuses on our profits and everything. So for those cases we need filters, and how we can apply filters in SQL statements with the help of where clause. Okay, so it keeps only rows that matches the condition. It keeps only rows if the condition is equals to true. Okay, you compare values using operators. You will compare the values using operators, and it filters the row one by one. Row is kept only if the test is true. You will apply the comparison operators like equals, not equals to, greater than, smaller than, greater than equals to, smaller than equals to. These are the comparison operators you will apply for your condition to satisfy. So based on this, you will get your output, and numbers are written as is, as you already know. If you have worked in any other language like Python or C plus, or any programming language, numbers are written as is. But if you are writing any text, you have to enclose them in single quotes. Okay, so text goes in single quotes, so that if you are applying any condition on a text based column, you have to enclose the requirement in the single quotes. Okay, the syntax is pretty simple. So as we understood that select and from are the required clauses, so they will come first and second as in the order of the big six clauses. So we'll write select name and salary, then we will write employees, and then we will write our filter condition. This is our filter condition which needs to be satisfied, so that we get the result only based on the condition if it is true, that is where salary is greater than equals to 70,000. Okay, and remember this, that operators equals to, not equals to, greater, less than, greater than equals to, less than equals to, and you have to use single quotes for text and none for numbers. Let's understand with an example. Let's suppose we want to extract the employees earning at least 70,000. That is, we want to get the employees who are earning either equals to 70,000 or greater than 70,000. So what query we will write? We will write select. You can write star also, or if you just want the names and the salaries, you can write name and salary also, from employees where salary is greater than equals to 70,000. Let's explore how we will get this result in SQL query. What we will do is we will write select star from employees. Employees are main table, so we will use employees table, and then we will write the where condition, that is where salary is greater than equals to 70,000, and put a semicolon in the end. Okay, and just if we execute this query, you will see all the entries that you see here, all the rows that you see here have the salaries greater than 70,000. And if you see the count here, it is reduced from 10,000 to 8,278 rows. That is, there are around approximately 8,000 employees in your companies whose salary is greater than 70,000. Okay, I hope this is clear. One thing you can remember, that this semicolon is optional. If you just remove the semicolon also, the SQL query still works, but it is a good way to write semicolon just to keep multiple queries error free and different from each other. Okay, so this is how we use the where clause. Now you have to try the use case for where clause. You have to find the employees in department 1, that is department id equals to 1, and you have to return the name of those employees and the department id. Okay, so what you have to do is, this is, let's say, your employees table. You have to get the output where the department id of the employees is 1. Okay, the hint is you have to use the where clause where department id is equals to 1. And since the department id is a number, you don't have to need, or you don't have to use the quotes for it. Okay, just try it and then we will see what will be the output of it. You can pause the video and we'll see the output. So the answer is pretty simple. We will write select name comma department id because we want name. We want to return name and department id from employees where department id is equals to 1. So if you run this query here, that is select name comma department id from employees where salary is, sorry, not salary, and again not employees, departments where department id is equals to 1. And if I just execute this, sorry, something went wrong. We have to find the employees in the department number 1. So I was writing earlier correct. Instead of employee departments, it should come as employees. So select name comma department id from employees where department id is equals to 1. And if I execute this, you can see all these employees have the department id equals to 1, and there are 703 employees here. Okay, right now I am showing all the rows. So this value that you see at the bottom, which is this, let me show you clearly. This value that you see at the bottom is representing the correct count of number of employees that works in department number 1. But usually it can be misleading because let's suppose any system has a restriction of showing 500 rows only, because they don't want to utilize the processing time, they want to reduce the processing time, and they are showing only 500 rows. So even if you have more than 500 employees with department ID equals to 1, still you will get here 500 rows. So don't be dependent on this number. If you want to count the number of employees with department ID, we will see how we can do with the help of query. That is, we will use the count statement. Okay. So let's go back and let's move to the next clause or the concept, which is between and in. Okay. So these two operators make filtering cleaner. Okay. These two operators are used to make the filtering cleaner. Between A and B matches an inclusive range, and it includes both the ends. That is, it will include this also and it will include this also. Then and in that is within clause followed by a list of parentheses matches any value in that list. So whatever values you will give inside these round braces or the parentheses, it matches to any value in the list and it will give you the output basis on the basis of that. So this is the easy way to filter your data, or filter your range or value list. Okay. Syntax is very simple. Since it is used for filtering the data, so it will be used along with the where clause, that is salary between 60,000 and 80,000. What it means is that since we are using between, so both are inclusive. That is, it will give you the employees or the list of employees whose salary is between 60,000 and 80,000, and both are inclusive in nature. And let's suppose you write in clause, for you write where department ID in, and in the parenthesis you write 1, 3 and 4. It means that out of any three department IDs, you will get your output. So this is nothing but the OR statement. In is something kind of OR statement. That is, whatever values that you are given inside the parenthesis, it will match any value in that list and will give you the output. Okay. And remember this thing, that between is inclusive of both endpoints and in is the shorthand for a series of or equals. Okay. Let's understand with an example so it will be more clear. So what we want is, we want the salaries from 60,000 to 70,000, both inclusive. So what we can do is, we will write select name, comma salary from employees where salary between 60,000 and 70,000. So what result you will get? It will give you the name of the employees whose salary is between these two endpoints, that is 60,000 and 75,000. Let's understand how you will get the output here. We will write select name, comma salary from employees table where salary between 60,000 and 75. It was 75, no? Yes, 75,000. And we will run this query. Now, if you run this query, you can see the output, that it will give you all the persons or all the employees whose salary is between the 60,000 and 75,000 range. Okay. And you can see the total number out of around 10,000 employees, approximately 1,700 employees are having the salary of between the range of 60,000 and 75,000. Okay. Now you guys try a problem you have to return those employees whose employee ID is 2, 3 and or 4 using in, not or. Okay. So pause the video. What I want is try this also, try this also, and try this also. Both try you're writing the queries from both, and from that you will understand why in is more preferable in comparison to or. Okay. Just pause the video, write the query, execute in the SQL server, and then we'll see what will be the answer. So the answer with the in is select name comma department ID from employees where department ID in 2 comma 3 comma 4, which is obvious. What we are doing is, since we have to return the employees where department ID is 2, 3 or 4, so we are writing this where clause which will filter out the result where department ID either belongs to 2 or belongs to 3 or belongs to 4. Okay, so let's try to apply this. First of all, I am showing you, let's suppose I want to use or statement and I don't want to use the in statement, then how it will work. So we will write select name comma department ID from employees table where first I will write department ID equals 2. Okay, so if I execute this line of code, it will give you all the names where the department ID of the employees is equals to 2, and there are approximately 600 rows. Now I want 3 also, so what I will do is I will write or, and I will write again department ID equals to 3. Okay, and then when I will execute this, you will see now it is giving you all the employees whose employee ID is either 2 or 3, and you can see there is an increase in the numbers of employees. And again, if I want department 4 also, so I have to write department ID equals to 4. So this is how you will write your query, same query using the or statement, but you can see you have to write 3 times or statement. Okay, so to remove this issue or to make our query smaller, we use or take the help of the in statement. What we will do is we will write again select name comma department ID from employees where department ID in, and we will write 2 parenthesis round parenthesis, and here we will write 2 comma 3 comma 4. Okay, now this will give you the same result. So from this you were getting 1993 rows. If you run this as well, you will get the same output, that is 1993 rows. Okay, so this is how we use the between and in statement. Then comes and, or, and not statement. And you already know, or you already know, and not we already know. Like these kind of conditions are used logically. These are the logical conditions and are used extensively in all programming languages, whether it is SQL, Python, Excel, anything. Okay, and the use case is same all over the place. It's universal and is used when you want your all conditions must be true. That is, whatever conditions you are given, both the conditions should be true simultaneously. Or is used when you want that at least one of the conditions should be true. And not is used to flip a condition and it will give you the output in reverse. That is, it will give you the output that you don't want. Okay, so and, or, and not combines the conditions logically. You can see the syntax. Since all are the logical conditions, since all are the logical conditions, so they will be used with where. So where department ID equals to 1 and salary is greater than 75,000. What this means that both the conditions should be true simultaneously in order to get the output. With the help of or, you can write department ID equals to true or department ID equals to 3. So either of the output will be valid. And if you write where not department ID equals to 4, it means that you want all the details or all the entries in your data except department ID equals to 4. You don't want this, you want except this. Okay. So and is stricter than or, you can understand from the query, from the meaning of it. When mixing them, wrap each group in parenthesis to be safe. What it is trying to say is, let's say you are writing multiple ands and ors, so it's always advisable and it is always safe if you combine or wrap each group of conditions inside the parenthesis to get the correct output. Okay. So let's see the examples related to this. Let's say I want all the engineering employees. Remember, we want all the engineering employees earning over 70,000. So we need two conditions to be satisfied simultaneously. That is, the employee should be engineering from engineering department and they should be earning more than 75,000. So what will be our query? We will write select name, department ID, salary from employees where department ID is equals to 1 and salary is greater than 75,000. So what result you will get is both test must pass. That is, department should be 1 and salary should be 75,000. So let's see what output you will get here. We will write select name, comma, department ID, comma, salary from employees table, and now we will write our where clause where department ID is equals to 1 and salary is greater than 75,000. And if I run this query, you will get those results only where the department ID is equal to 1 and salary is greater than 75,000 simultaneously. Okay. So you are getting approximately 660 employees whose salary and department ID is matching your condition. Okay. Now you can try this example by yourself. You have to find the employees in department 2 or department 3 and then you have to return their name and department ID. Okay, so you can pause the video, try the query yourself and then verify your result. So the answer for this will be select name, comma, department ID. We want to return the name and department ID from employees where department ID is either 2 or department ID is either 3. We can use here in clause also. Okay. Since we are understanding the or use case, so we are using or, but you can use the in statement as well. Okay. So we will write this, we will write select name, comma, department ID from employees where department underscore ID is equals to 1, sorry, 2 or department ID is equals to 3. And when you will run this code, you will get your desired output. Okay. So this is how your and or a not statement works. Now let's move to a next statement or next clause, which is the like. So like is used for pattern matching. Like is used for pattern matching. Remember this keyword with the help of wildcards. Okay. So like lets you pattern match your text using wildcards. Here there are two things that we need to understand. What is pattern matching and what is wildcards? So like is mostly used and is like only used for the text based columns, and it helps or takes the help of wildcards. Okay, so let's understand the first wildcard. First wildcard is percent sign. What it is used for? It percent sign matches any number of characters or any run of characters. Okay, what it means is, let's example, if I am writing quotes, as you know that all the text that we need to match should come within single quotes. So if we write a and the percent sign, it means that we want to return all the rows or all the entries which starts with a, but it can have any number of characters after it. Okay, it can have any number of characters after it. Okay, and if you write within quotes percent n, that is written here, it means that you have to return, or we want all the rows to return which ends with a, and we are not bothered about how many characters that are before n. Okay, so percent is used if you want to get any runs of characters. Second is underscore. This is underscore. I'm writing here. It is underscore sign. So underscore sign matches exactly one character. It will match exactly one character. Let's suppose you want to match exactly one character. In that case, we use the underscore sign. For example, if you are writing within quotes underscore a percent sign, it means that a should always be your second letter of your entry. Okay, where you are matching the condition, a should be the second letter. Why? Because before this we have used the underscore, and underscore can fill exactly one character. It means that it will fill one character here, so second will obviously will become a, and then percent sign means then after a it can have any number of characters. But if it is written like underscore a underscore, what it means that it it needs to have only three characters. Only three characters. That is, middle one should be a, starting one and the ending one character can be anything, but it should only be three characters because we have used underscore in the starting and underscore in the end also. And not like will flip it, that is, it will keep the rows that don't match the pattern. Okay, so you can see where name like this, where name like this, where name like underscore r percent, where name not like under percent n. Okay, so this kind of syntax we will use. And remember the case sensitivity. Always remember the case sensitivity here. Case sensitivity depends on the database collation. Under a case sensitive or strict collation, a percent will not be equals to capital A percent. That is, if in the database collation there is a case sensitivity clause or constraint has been added, then in that case small a percent will not be equals to uppercase percent. Okay, let's see an example of how we will use the like. We want to get the names of those employees whose name starts with letter A. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to match all the employees whose name starts with capital A or small a. Currently, our database don't have any constraint on the case sensitivity. So you can write small a and capital A, either of it, and you will get your result. So let's try this. We will write select star. Let's try star from employees table where name is equals to, or sorry, name like percent. We'll write first quote, then we will write capital A, then we will write percent, and then closed quote. And if I execute this, you can see we are getting the name of all the employees whose name is starting with A. Okay. If I write small a here also, let's say if I write small a here, then you will get the same result, because while creating the database, we don't have any case sensitive constraint here. Okay. So I hope this is clear how we use the like condition or like clause. It is used for pattern matching with the help of wildcards. Okay. Let's now try one more example that will be done by you. You need to find the employees whose name ends with letter A. Okay. You have to identify all those employees whose name ends with the letter A. Okay. So pause the video, write the query, and then you can see the answer. So the answer will be select name from employees where name like percent A. So let's try this at our SQL server. We will write select star from employees where name like percent, sorry, quotes, and within quotes, we will write percent A. And now if I run this, you will see all the employees whose name is ending with A. That is Ananya, Priya, Sara, Neha, Rohan Chopra. Rohan Chopra is considered a complete string, so Chopra is ending with A. Therefore, we are getting this. Again, Vivek Malhotra, Rahul Gupta, Lakshmi Gupta, Nisha Mishra, Nitin Saxena, Ananya Malhotra, all are ending with A. Okay. So this is how we use the like statement. Now comes the order by. That is, order by is used to sort the final result. Okay. If you want to sort your final result, sorting means either you want the result in ascending order or you want the result in the descending order. Okay. This is one of the last statements that you write while executing a query. While writing a query or while execution of a query, this is one of the last queries that is being written. Okay. So if you want to sort your result, you use the order by statement. So ASC is used for ascending, and it is the default case. That is, if you use the order by without any condition, so it will order your data or it will sort your data in the ascending order. If you write DESC, that is for descending, so it will order your data in the descending order. So if you are applying on a number, it will order from large to small. And if you are applying on a text based column, it will order the result in from Z to A. And if you are applying on a date based column, then it will result from latest date to the oldest date. Okay, and you already remember this now that it runs at the last. So sorting happens after all the rows are chosen. So it is the last query which is being written also and which is being executed also. Okay. So the syntax is pretty simple. We will write select name comma salary from employees order by descending. So what we are doing is we are ordering our result, or we are sorting our result in the descending order of their salaries. From this we will get one output which is very sometimes very important and sometimes asked in the interviews also, that is which person or which employee has the highest salary. So if you run this query, you will get the person who has the highest salary at the first row of your output. Okay. And remember this thing, that no order by is equals to no guaranteed order. Add descending for the highest first and ascending is the default. So this is the case that I am explaining you earlier, that if you write descending, it means that you will get the highest first. So it will help you to get which person or which employee has the highest salary. Let's try this. Let's see one example. Name comma salary from employees order by salary descending. So we want to get the employees from highest to lowest paid. So let's try this. We will write select star from employees. You can write specific columns also, and even you can write star also, because our data set is pretty small, where we need not any condition. We will simply write directly order by salary descending, and we will run this query. And now you can see that these are some persons who have the highest salary. That is Imran Verma, whose salary is 1,70,000. Then Dhruv Mishra, whose salary is also 1,70,000. And if you go down and down, these are some persons whose have the highest salary. Then second highest is this person, and then third highest is these persons. Okay, so from this you get the persons who have the highest salary. If you don't write descending, by default it will take ascending into consideration, and if you run this, you will see that these are the persons whose salary is lowest. So Payal Khan, Zoya Agarwal, all these are the persons whose salary is lowest, which is 45,000. And if you write ASC also, that will not change your output. It will give you the same output also. Okay. Now let's move to the another example where you have to solve this, that is sort departments alphabetically by department names. So what we have to do is we have to sort the text based column alphabetically from A to Z. So we will use the default condition, that is ascending. Try to solve it your end, and then we will see what will be the output of it. Okay. So the output is pretty simple. We will write department ID, department name from departments, order by department name, ascending. So we'll go back to SQL query and we will write select department underscore ID, comma, department underscore name from departments table, order by department name in the ascending order. So if I run this, you will see that data science will come first because D comes first, and then design. So when you have two D's, then it will see the next letter, which is A and E. Therefore, data science is coming first and design is coming second. Then we have engineering, finance, human resources, IT, and so on. And the last one is support and sales. Okay. So this is how you sort your data with the help of order by clause. Okay. Now we will understand order by several columns. You can sort by more than one column, that is order by using two columns. And what it will do is it will sort your data first by A. Let's suppose you are sorting your data using A column and B column. So what it will do is it will sort first by A, then by B, and ties in A are broken by B. Suppose let's say there is a tie in the A column, so that will be broken by B. You can even mix the directions as per your requirement. For example, you want department ID in ascending order and salary in descending order. So you can mix and match that as well. There's also a shortcut for order by using numbers, that by that that is order by a number sorts by that column's position in the select list. So order by 2 sorts by the second selected column. It's handy but fragile. If you reorder your select columns, then sort silently changes. Okay. So if you are writing 2, so what it will do is it will sort by your data using the second selected column. Okay. Syntax will be very simple. Let's suppose you are sorting your data by two columns. So first you will write the name of the first column and what type you want to do the sorting, whether it is ascending or descending, and then second column name, and then again ascending and descending. And if you want to do by position, you write select name comma salary, then order by to descending. What it means is that it will order your data based on the salary column. Okay. Let's understand by an example. What we have to do is you group, I guess, group by department, then highest paid first within each. Okay. What you have to do is you have to sort your data by department. I think this should be sort by department, then highest paid person should be first within each department. So what we have to do is we have to write select name of the person, department ID, and the salary from employees. From employees, order by department ID ascending, because what it will do is it will group your data, or it will sort your data in the ascending order of their department ID. So every chunk will be of same department, and salary descending. What it will do is within that department ID, it will sort your data in the descending order of the salary. We can see how it will work in real case. So we'll go in SQL. And what we will do is first we will write select star from employees, just to show you how the data is available to you. When the connection breaks, you have to reconnect, and you can use HR so that it connects to your database. Then now you can see select star from employees. We are getting this data. Now what we want is we want only name, their department ID, comma, their job, sorry, their salary. We want these three things. And what we want is we want to order it by First by the department ID. So we will write department underscore ID in ascending order, comma, salary in descending order. Okay. So what it will do is, when you will execute this, you can see that within department ID 1, Dhruv Mishra has the salary 1,70,000, and similarly for Imran Yadav, Harsh Pillai, all these things. If we go down and down, and if we see for, let's say, department 2, you can see for department 2, Mansi Das has the highest salary, which is 1,11,000, like this. Okay. So 1,10,000. So this is how we can use the sorting by multiple columns in the same query. Okay. Now you can see that we have used the name of the columns here, but we can use the numbers of the column as well, and it will do the same thing. We can write here order by 2 ascending, 3 descending. So if you will get the same thing here. Okay. You will get the same thing here. Now you guys try one question. What you have to do is, you have to sort the employees by department ID in the ascending order and by name A to Z within each department. Okay, what you have to do is, you have to sort your employees by department ID in the ascending order and by the name from A to Z within each department. So you have to use two sort keys separated by a comma, that is department ID and name. You can pause the video here and then you can see what you can try it out yourself, like what should be the solution of it. Okay. So the solution will be select name comma department ID from employees, order by department ID in the ascending order and name also in the ascending order, because we want from A to Z. So let's try this well also. In the SQL, we will write select, and first we will write name comma department ID from employees table, and we will write order by, first we have to order it by department ID, so we will write department underscore ID in ascending order, and then we will write name also in ascending order. If you don't write ascending again, by default it will do in ascending only, but it's good to write. So you can see this is the output that we are getting through this query. All the names are in ascending order, first by department ID, and as the department ID increases, again the names will start in the ascending order of their names from A to Z. Okay. So this is how your order by with multiple columns works. Now let's next move to one more helper column, which is top and offset. What top and offset do is, let's suppose you want to limit how many rows in output comes back. SQL Server uses top. Okay. Select top 3 returns, like for example, if you are writing select top 3, it will return the first 3 rows. But top only means something once the data is sorted. That is, if you are using top or if you are using offset, it will only mean that once the data is sorted. So you almost always pair top with order by. 99% chances is whenever you are using top, you will order it by order by, because when you first order it in ascending or descending order, then only the use of then only the use of top will mean something, or a meaningful output will come for you. For pagination, that is showing results page by page, for showing results page by page, you use offset and fetch. What it will do is it will skip a number of rows, then fetch the next n rows. Okay, it will skip some rows and then fetch the next n rows. Note that MySQL and PostgreSQL do the same job with the limit instead. That is what you are doing with top in SQL Server. With the help in MySQL and PostgreSQL, limit do the same thing. Okay, you can see here. So the syntax will be very easy. We will write select top 3 name comma salary from employees order by salary descending. So what it will do is it will give you the top 3 employees from your organization whose has the highest salary. And then you can write order by salary descending, offset 3 rows, fetch next 3 rows only. So what it will do is it will skip some rows and it will fetch the next 3 rows. So it will skip the first 3 rows and it will fetch the next 3 rows. Okay, let's try with an example so that it will be more clear to you. What we want is we want the highest paid employees in our department. So for that, what we will do is we will write select top 3 name comma salary from employees order by salary descending. And what it will give you, it will give you the top 3 highest paid employees in your department. In your data set and in our data set, we have already seen that many employees have a same salary. So it's no problem. We will get the first 3 names of the data from the data set. So we will write select name comma salary from employees. Okay, first we'll write the normal query and order by salary descending. Okay, so you will get all your names, but we want only top 3. That is, we want to limit our output only to the top 3 rows. So we will add here top 3 instead. Okay, and now if you run this query, you will get only the 3 rows that is available in your data set, the top 3 rows from your data set. Okay, so this is how we get our top or the bottom paid employees and all these things using the top clause or comma. Okay, now you guys try it. What you have to do is you have to return only the 2 lowest paid employees. Okay, 2 lowest paid employees, you have to give the name and the salary of the person. Okay, pause the video, try it yourself, and then we will see its solution. Okay, so the solution is very simple. We have to write select top 2 name comma salary from employees order by salary ascending. The only thing that we have changed from the previous query to this query is that instead of using descending, we have used ascending. So it will start the salary from the lowest to the highest, and if we limit our rows to 2, we will get the 2 lowest paid employees in our organization. So let's try it at our end and let's see what will be the output we will get. So we will write select top 2 name comma salary from employees order by salary. If you leave it as it is, it will default will take ascending, and if I run this, you can see that this is the 2 persons who has lowest salary in our department or in our organization. Okay, now let's move to comments and as. Okay, so these are the 2 final touches that we'll do in our big 6 queries. Okay, so comments let you document your queries. Okay, what it will do is it will help you to document your queries. 2 dashes start a line comment that's ignored to the end of the line. Like if you use two dashes, it will ignore everything that is written after it. So it's very important to comment or to document your queries so that any user, if you are if any user is working on your query, or if you are working on your query for some time late uh, in the days, you will be able to clearly understand what this query is doing. So commenting is very important while writing the queries or any kind of code you write it, whether it is Python or it is in C, whether it is in SQL also. Okay. And slash star opens a block command and can span multiple lines. Like if you want to write a single line comment, then in that case you use two dashes. But if you want to write multiple line commands, then in that case you have to use slash star, and then you write whatever command you want to add, and you will get multiple lines for it. Okay. And as keyword renames your column name or the table. Okay, what it means is, for example, you want to rename any column name in your table, so for that purpose you can use as. But as is the output that you will get from the as is only temporary one. It is not permanently changing the name of the column. For the output only, it is changing the name of the column. Okay, so always remember that it only changes the output label. The same is written here as well as a note. The real column name in the table stays the same. So if you see the syntax, we started with two dashes. That is, this is your comment. This is your single line comment. Then you write select name as employee. So you are using a alias, that is, my name should be renamed to employee and salary as pay from employees E. Okay. And E is also the table alias for the employees table. You can write as also, but in SQL Server, you can skip this. And even if you write like this, that is name of the table and space any name you want to give. So in that case also, SQL will understand that this is your table alias. Okay. Let's understand with an example. So what we want to do is friendlier column headers with the help of S. Okay, so we'll try to write the aliases by ourselves. What we will do is we will write select name as employee. So what we are changing is we are changing the name of the column name to employee and salary as monthly pay from employees. Okay, so let's try this and see how it will work. So we will first write select name as employee, select name as employee, comma, we want to write salary as monthly pay from which table? From employees table. Okay, and if we execute this, you can see the name of the columns has been changed. It is showing employee and it is showing monthly pay. One thing here you can notice that our new aliases don't have any spaces in between. So if you want to introduce a space within a column name, you have to enclose that within single quotes. How? For example, instead of monthly underscore pay, if I write like this, currently it will give you an error because month salary is renamed as monthly, but this pay is throwing an error. So if you want, you have to enclose this within single quotes. Now if you run this, there will be no error and your output will be monthly space pay. Okay, so if you are writing any text with any spaces in between, try to avoid the spaces. First of all, use the underscore which is a conventional way to show that there is a space between two words, and if you it is mandatory to use the space, then you have to enclose that within the single quotes. Okay. Now you try it. You have to show the department underscore name with the column header department using S. So it's pretty simple. Try it your end, pause the video, and then we will see its solution. Okay. The solution is pretty simple. We have to write select. We will write select department underscore name as department, and then just the name of the table from departments table. Departments table. Okay. And we will get our output. We can try the same thing in SQL also. We will go in SQL and we will do the same thing. We will write select department underscore name as departments from department table, and we'll just execute this, and you will see that departments is showing as the column name and all the departments are under it. Okay. Any doubts? If you have any doubt, you can add those doubts in the comment and we will try to resolve this as soon as possible. The complete slide that we have used here will be available again in the description column, and the SQL table also that we have used here will also be available in the description below. So let's do a quick recap what we have did here in this topic 2, which is querying basics, like how you can do with a single table, what things that you can do with a single table. Select we understood, which is used to pick the columns. From is used to name the source table. Between and in is used to give the range and the value list. Like is used for pattern matching. Top and offset is used for top and pagination. Distinct is used to drop the duplicate rows. Where is used for filtering the rows. And or and not is used to combine the conditions, logical conditions. Order by is used to sort your data in ascending and descending order. Multiple column sorting and by position sorting we understood. And double dash slash star and as is used for using the comments and the column aliases. In the next topic, that is topic 3, we will understand aggregation and grouping, how we can group our data, how we can aggregate our data using the group by having clause and the aggregation commands like count, sum and average. See you there. Thank you. Bye bye.